All righty. Well, hey, good to see y'all today here. And many of you I know had a volunteer day this last week that are here. There are many people who had a volunteer day who are not here, who are taking a vacation this week, who are who are resting because they're just overwhelmed. And I got a number of messages of people not be able to make it, which totally understand. But I want to like this meeting, spend the majority of our time just hearing from the cities that did take place in the last couple of weeks and just hearing some highlights and ways maybe to improve. And let's just listen to each other and hear from each other. I think that just would be super productive here. So here's what I want to do here. So we've got just a reminder here, the purpose of why we're here. Let me keep letting people in here is what Love Our Cities. We're about, of course, we're about Citywide Volunteer Days. We're about that catalytic event that inspires our whole city to come out to love their city. But we're also about year-round impact. Like, let's be thinking about this day on its own is great, but man, when it's followed up with practical ways to continue to get involved and make an impact in your community year-round, that's where the really the power, the impact in the community really happens. And then I think we're about citywide convening. I mean, once you do a volunteer day and you got ongoing ways to get involved in your community, the community looks to you as a convener, that you can bring that community together. You're that neutral person in your city that can bring things together here. And then certainly why we're also about, collaborating and learning from each other. And that's what we're going to be doing a lot of here today. So we had the last 2 weeks, we had around 20 cities and counties. Counties have a lot of cities in them that had a big volunteer day. And so what I want to do is take about each one of you who are here, take 1 minute, 2 minutes maybe to share a couple things here, 1 to 2 highlights, an area that you really need to improve, you want to improve upon, and then a couple ideas to share with other cities that maybe like banner idea in the middle of town. I mean, just practical ideas that you think were really effective that you think other cities could benefit from here. So I want to start off here with Tuolumne County, who was 2 weeks ago. I see Nate, you're on the call here. And Nate, just love to hear a couple big highlights from you. And now this is your second year. Give a little background. So your second year officially going at it. And we just want to celebrate with what happened in Tuolumne County.
Yeah, so second year we did, thanks. We started last year, had a good year. It's the middle of COVID stuff, of course. And so the rally was much different last year. So try to do a little more traditional this year. I'll try and keep to a minute. A couple highlights, man, there were so many. Just connections with lots of people in the community. We had great support. So great financial support, more money than we could spend. In some ways, more volunteers on the day than we could even kind of get into places, which was super fun. But a couple, just to look back, there are so many great opportunities, people kind of surprised and shocked and just thankful to come together, excited. We've had volunteer days before and we had 3 or 4 people and they had 25 or they had 30 or just incredible things happened, which was really fun that way. Lots of partnerships and lots of, I didn't know you were doing this kind of moments. Next thing, areas to improve for us, it's a struggle up here in Tuolumne County with regards to the rally. And I think we do a great rally. It's awesome. And there's lots of reasons to come by, but because some of our projects are quite a ways out of town or up the hill or down the hill, we do Tuolumne County because it's multiple little towns up here, of course. And so that's something we're rethinking, maybe trying to do a night rally the night before. We give away t-shirts. We gave away a pancake sausage breakfast this year. And still most of our people are like, hey, we're just going to go to our project. It's like good coffee, good food, good. And people are like, we just want to go serve. And of course, that's the last thing we want to stop them from doing. But we see the momentum building in the rally too. So that's one of the areas that we want to improve, constantly leadership training. I'm sure those of you guys have been doing this a long time. It was already mentioned on here, but we had some leaders come back from last year and it was so awesome. It was like, oh my goodness, they were just plug and play. They knew what to do. They knew the financial structure, all those kinds of things. Because like you guys were evangelizing what Love Tuolumne County is to lots of people, and they sort of get that glazed look like, okay, I don't quite understand what in the world this is. And so for new leaders, that's a whole tipping point momentum thing. So we got some great leaders. had some great returns, and then we had some really difficult ones too that consumed a whole lot of time, and it was what it was. So that was one. And then we did all of our team leader meetings on Zoom, and we decided in our sort of recap thing, we'll never do that again. It's just, we didn't connect as much as we'd like to as a team. So those were ours.
What were your approximate volunteer numbers for that?
Yeah, we had a little over 450 people. We stretched ours to 3 days because we had a couple of charter school projects that we were doing on a Friday, and then we're partnered with the Adventist Church. And, you know, my good friends at the Adventist Church. Yeah, so we did some projects on Sunday, which were fun. And so for us, it's kind of spread out, and that's been fine. Maybe that's another rally issue, but we had great participation. We had over 30 projects, I think, by the end of the day, a couple covert projects, but yeah, we were at like 31, I think.
No, that's good. Yeah, and I think that's great to accommodate different groups. Like our Jewish friends, you know, will not volunteer on Saturday, but like we have these pre-projects, things that you can do ahead of time. Where in the past we've had Sunday projects. So I think it's great to kind of, you know, accommodate people, maybe not just all on that day. Regarding numbers, you know, it's interesting. What I want to do next year, encourage everyone, is we have people who sign up, we have those numbers, but we also have people who show up. And I think what we need to do is have a check-in process for our project leaders to check in. So we really know how many people actually came, you know, because it's hard, because you're right. We have a lot of people who don't want to come to the big thing downtown. It's too far away. The project is right in their neighborhood, or it's on the other side of the county. Why would they want to drive? You know, and so you do the best you can do. And I think you welcome and accept everyone. Like, I like how you said that, Nate. Hey, you're here to volunteer. Awesome. Be at your project. Yeah, but we're going to try to make that kickoff, that festivities experience the best it can be, because it really inspires you, you know, to be a part of your city more and loving your city more as well. But you know what, all you can do is the best you can. All right, let's keep moving on here. Joelle Paradise. Joelle, did I see you? Are you able to share, Joelle, about
Yeah.
the Friday that you had?
Yes, I am here. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see some faces that I got to meet at the city leaders meeting this last weekend. So hi to all my new friends. So our event we held on a Friday for a couple of reasons. We have found that if we do it 2 days in our area, our numbers really drop off the second day. And we have a Adventist Academy that we work with. And so all the students come out on that Friday as part of their school day to come out and volunteer. So we've typically held it on a Friday when we have the most success. We've also been able to partner with our local Air Force base. They will come up and send volunteers up to us. So trying to create projects that they can plug into really easily. Those numbers have declined with all that's going on, but it's really nice when they are able to join us. And then we are able to mobilize other people in our community, like Rotary we partner with, and a few other organizations. But the projects we did this year, we really targeted the schools in our town, and had the schools participate with projects on their own sites. And then we also sent some additional volunteers to help with those projects. We did a lot of garden boxes and planting of those garden boxes, creating those structures for the schools to be able to have a garden on their site. We also helped with another organization that they do a lot of emotional and spiritual wellness and healing. And they have a 20-acre ranch in which they utilize it there. And so we sent the bulk of our academy students to that location just to really knock out a bunch of stuff for them, which they were really grateful for. But certainly after attending the Love Modesto event, my mind has just been swirling with ideas and how can we do more and grow more? Because I think there's a hunger out there for people to volunteer, but at the same time, living in a community post-disaster, just dealing with everybody's trauma, they're just really tired. And so that's why we've seen some numbers falling off over the last couple of years and with COVID. But I'm encouraged and inspired after the Love Modesto event. So thank you, Jeff, for inviting us down. And I can't wait to come back next year.
Yeah. Thank you, Joelle. Is Kirk, are you on from Brea? I don't know if Kirk can make it here this morning, but I heard some reports from Brea and all the people they had there in LA area. I know I don't see Eric here from Central Coast. They had a ton of people on Friday night. And then Saturday they had more people. Brandy from Ceres. I think I saw, hey, Brandy. Tell us about Ceres, a couple 1 minute. Try to take 1 minute, a couple
Okay, well, I
highlights.
wrote it down, so
All right, go for it.
I'll be quick. Some of our highlights that we had a lot of youth groups came out that I didn't really plan on. And so some of the groups included our Ceres Unified School District. We had a lot of staff that brought students out. We had our Ceres Junior Bulldogs football and cheerleading team, Boy Scouts Troop 9. We also had our Lions Club, Seroptimist, police, fire, and sheriff. Youth for Christ, Walmart, our new Walmart Super Center, sent a bunch of employees out. Good kudos to them. Our Upward Youth Group, and even a group from Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I didn't know they were coming, so that was awesome. We had about 12 committee members who jumped on board, and we ended up, I was really kind of hoping for about 75 volunteers. That was sort of a high goal. First of all, I would also like to thank Brian Marks for all of his help, because he really guided us through. This is our first time back in several years. I had no idea what we were doing when we started this, and we were hoping for about 75 volunteers. We ended up, after we counted everybody that we could think of, with 240 volunteers. And thanks, and lots of support people. So the Lions Club came out and cooked breakfast burritos for everybody in the morning, handed them out to all of our volunteers, and coffee. So we warmed their bellies to get them started. Some of our projects included trash and abatement. We cleaned up our big park in the center of Ceres, which is Smyrna Park. We also had a youth group that went out and washed the first responders' vehicles, so the fire trucks and the police cars and sheriffs. We had Seroptimists put together go bags for domestic violence, and they also made cards for children's hospitals. We had potted plants for the community. Even our own mayor, Mayor Lopez, created a potted plant, put his name on it, and signed it to give to one of our shelters and elderly homes here in Ceres. Our Ceres High School, we had a group of students who went out and painted and repaired the backdrops for the baseball fields at the high school. And our high school is named, our baseball fields are named after Mr. Art McRae, who had 550 winning games throughout his career. So we have a big board at the high school with his name on it, and he surprised all the students and showed up and took pictures with them and thanked them for all their support, and stayed there actually for quite a while with them, telling his stories. We had one of our junior high schools, Blaker Kinzer, did a staff appreciation, since it's Teacher Appreciation Day and week this week. We laid handbark at our Ceres Community Center, and then we made some contact for people who might be interested in Youth for Christ to volunteer for our juvenile detention center, which is actually through Modesto. This year we started also a program that one of the things that I would like to work on. We started a program where we got some of our restaurants involved. So if a person was wearing their Love Ceres t-shirt, which we didn't have enough of because we had more volunteers than we thought, so next year we'll have to get more shirts. If they're wearing their shirt or a sticker that said Love Ceres, then those restaurants would give them a 10% discount or a free drink or something for coming in that day to thank the volunteers for being out in the community. So because it was our first year and we were so busy doing so many other things, we only got 5 restaurants involved. So next year I want to really go out into the community and get more people involved. Good. And that way they can be recognized, and our volunteers can go afterwards and just relax and have a nice dinner or lunch or whatever, and get appreciated for being a volunteer of Love Ceres. I think that's pretty much about it. So I had 300 breakfast burritos, 240 volunteers, 100 t-shirts, 11 sponsored donations, and Bertolotti Disposal. We have to give them kudos because they sent a huge trash bin for us to put all of our stuff in, and they hauled it all off for us. So, do you have anything else you'd like? Okay, I think it was 1 minute.
And Brandy, this was your first, yeah, everyone, this was Brandy's first year pulling this thing off. Isn't that awesome? Yay.
Not the last.
Not the last. Thank God to hear that. All right, Colorado Springs. Corey, this is your first spring event to pull off.
Yes, yeah. So we had our first spring city serve, and that was really born out of, we historically have done a fall serve day, and it's sort of plateaued at its involvement. And we're really at the point where we're like, we've got to spread stuff out. Like people, and asking that question that Eric Swanson has posed, what wants to happen in your city? Considering that, we've gone, okay, people want a spring serve day, and that will allow us to spread some of the effort out. For us, we actually bookend teacher appreciation. So we've got a serve day coming up, our second half of Spring City Serve coming up this Friday and Saturday. So last Friday and Saturday, we had about 1,100 people out. And then this Friday, Saturday, we'll have about 600. And Kim got to come and join us, Kim from Serve Spot. It was so special to have her and her team. We had a great time. I think a couple things that felt really exciting to me is the systems that we've built in the fall we can replicate them. And so spring felt like we could do it because we had the systems, and it kind of planned itself as we went along. I also felt so much excitement to see, I think as a leader, you hope that you have people around you, and you pray for people around you that also catch the vision. And I think what I found really encouraging was we have a really strong subcommittee that has as much responsibility around our serve days as I do, as our staff does. So they were out running around, taking pictures, putting out fires, and I was just hearing about it after the fact. And that was really cool. I just am praising God for that. That feels really special. One of my favorite projects, we had about 80 projects. We'll have about 40 this weekend, but at the 80 projects, one of my favorites that happened was we did 3 nursery makeovers. So we partner with a local pregnancy center that does an application process for families in crisis. 3 families get selected. I work with a local realtor agency, and they, over the course of like 6 months, each donate like a percentage of what they make from a sale. And so they funded 3 nursery makeovers, this realty group. And then the day of City Serve, so over the course of those 6 months, we also pair up a local professional interior designer with the families that have been selected, and they do a consultation. What's your style? What would you like the space to look like? And then on City Serve, a total transformation of those spaces in a matter of hours, using the volunteer manpower plus the realtors that donated to the project show up and serve. And to me, every year, that's such a joy-filled project, because families that, like, we had a young family that their nursery is just in their master bedroom, in their bedroom at the apartment they rent. They have one room, and it's a nursery and their living space. And so this group got to come in and really make it something special for them as they built their family. So that was a really cool project. We did 3 of those. Something that we'd like to continue to grow in, I'll just mention one thing, although there's many. We would like to grow in coaching our projects to continue to share their vision and their why. And then also we'd like to grow in helping our projects articulate how can people come back and serve again. So we do a ton of coaching on the front end, but I think more needs to happen to coach projects on saying, hey, thank you for serving today. Next month, we have this coming up. If you'd like to be on our email list to come back to that event and help with us, we need you. Here's how you come back. So just practical, but I would like to see projects invite people back. So,
Corey, I love the idea you shared last month about that business card. And it's cool to see how it's a buzz among other cities as well. And I think that's such a great example of how, we have, an idea works maybe somewhere, and let's see if we can share it other places as well here. About approximately how many volunteers did you have?
We had just over 1,100 volunteers out this past weekend. We'll have close to 600 out this upcoming weekend.
And then compared to the fall, this is your first time in the spring, so that doesn't compare to the fall quite yet. Right?
No, the fall is double that usually, or the fall is close to 5,000 each fall. And I was telling Kim, it's just our city's really spread out. Our city's really large. And so there's a huge amount of people that want to serve. But it felt manageable. Like spring felt manageable. And I was telling Kim was here the day before, and I was like, I think I feel okay. Am I missing something? So Kim was like, are you good? I'm like, I think I'm good. I think this is okay. I think we're okay.
Well, again, this is your first time in the spring. I mean, it's your first time.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
healthy things continue to grow. Kim, 30 seconds. What was your impression of being in Colorado Springs?
I took two of my teammates out, two of my volunteers, and they were like, this is better than 100 meetings, to just show up and see how they do things, get new ideas, and to see like we're doing a lot of the same things, and some of our systems we told to Corey, and some of their ideas they gave to us. And so just to share that, I mean, we started last night, my team planning for the fall. And so my teammates who went to Colorado could tell our 13 volunteer teams about Colorado Springs. And my team is like, oh my gosh, let's go. They're so ready to plan because of what we saw in Colorado Springs.
Awesome. Kevin, Empire.
Yeah, it was our first year too. Crazy. We had, let me get our list of numbers. We had 70 volunteers. So that was really cool for the first time doing anything. And it was nice. We had a garden project. We did cards for first responders and care homes. And then did a paint project at a care facility. So that was pretty neat, getting people out of the house and painting stuff. So that was like a paint night event for them. That was really cool. After our projects, we had a pop-up in the park because, again, we're new to the community or new getting people to see what Love Empire is. And that went well. We didn't have as many people as we had hoped. But like Opportunity Stanislaus was there, Project Yes was there. We had a couple local businesses there, and people were selling stuff. It was cool. Just a lot of connections in the park that day, but again, not what we had hoped for. But if you, some of the major pluses were, one of the pop-ups was a local plumbing company who's struggling to hire people. They have a guy who's starting tomorrow. So it's only one employee, but you go, man, they haven't been able to hire anyone in a couple months. And you got a guy, brand new job tomorrow, just out of that. And then the other big plus for us was getting the churches and a few businesses just to come and see what it is even going to be about. One of the problems with Empire is people come and go and no one sticks because it's a tiny town. There's a lot of trouble there. It's like forgotten because it's so small. And building trust. So that's a huge thing. A lot of people are wanting to be on the team. They just came in the park and were asking questions. Who are you? What are you guys doing? Why are you here? And so we really, we're adding to our team already of people who want to be a part. So, and those are people who are brand new to the community. Again, we met a guy, first time home buyer, bought an Empire, which a lot of people go, why would you buy a house in Empire? But he wants to help, and he's, he has special needs kids. I run a youth program, and we have some special needs kids in our program, and I was able to tell him about it. And I don't think he goes to church at all. And so we exchanged phone numbers, and we'll see where that goes. But with that, we kind of went, what does Empire need? The library, we're going to start a gaming club and just get to connect with some students. So, and that's something that they don't have, are clubs, or the only real thing Empire has is baseball. That's the thing for kids to do. And then they have a pool, which,
Kevin, I hate to
are
cut you
good,
off.
but
I hate to cut you off. We got 7 more cities to go in 15
good.
minutes.
Yep.
But thank you. This is your first year back for Love Empire.
Yep.
Woohoo.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, Lodi. Tim, you've got 30 seconds or so.
Okay, so we had about 600 people sign up online. Probably like 700-800 actually showed up because a lot of people didn't come to the rally. And we had, I think we sold about $5 donation, 350 or so t-shirts at the rally. So I'm guessing we had, anywhere from 300 to 150 people at the rally. It was actually really cool. We had few city council people show up. And this year we tried to really engage more of the business community, because go around Lodi, you'd think it was just a church event. And so we saw signs. We did a lawn sign initiative. And so we're able to go to like the Lodi Association of Realtors, the Kiwanis Club, and all these different organizations, the Downtown Business Association board. And they really got behind it and really promoted it all throughout downtown Lodi. And so we had some pretty amazing projects. Really, we only had 2.5 months to plan it too. We started in February. And so it was a whirlwind, but you know what? It was a really great day. And so, yeah, it was good. I mean, we did some really good projects with the city pet projects. We have an access center for the homeless coming in. We had a city councilman get behind it, and it was the city manager, city councilman, and fire chief all went to that project, and we had a couple businesses get behind it, and there's some ongoing projects even after the service day. So
Awesome.
overall, it was a pretty good day.
Awesome, Tim. Lisa, you shared a little bit up front. Anything you want to add from what you shared just in our initial upfront conversation?
We had a great day. I think our check-in process was really streamlined this year. So we do check in everybody. So people come under the arch at the park, but before they were there, we had greeters this year that said, were you able to register online or do you need to pick a project? And we divided them that way. They check in, they get their free t-shirt and a raffle ticket. If they had not registered online, we had a whole team out there with the projects that still needed volunteers and sign them up. And then they got to take their waiver as their ticket to get their t-shirt and raffle ticket. So that was slick. That worked really well. And then all the team leaders had a clipboard with a checklist of everybody that was signed up for their project and anybody that signed up that morning, and wristbands. And they took that to their project site. They actually took attendance for me and handed out wristbands at their project sites. And that was their ticket to our lunch afterwards. So all that worked really smooth this year. We completed over 40 projects in the city. We had nearly 400 people, amazing support from the city, great donations from businesses, and a great team that's really built up this year that I'm excited about. So thanks, Brian, for kicking me in the butt and telling me not to do it on my own again. And so we had our debrief last night, and everybody's on board for next year and has some great ideas. So we're excited.
Awesome. Lindsay, tell us about Love Turlock. About 45 seconds or so.
Good morning. So this was our first time with Love Turlock in like 6 or 7 years, and my first time leading. And we had over 380 volunteers and 27 projects. And so it was super encouraging just to have that many people show up. You kind of work hard and you don't know what to expect. And we did our morning kickoff at Donnelly Park, which is kind of in the heart of the city in a very busy place on a Saturday. So I loved that because there were people who participated that just were going to the park that morning and didn't know what was happening. So that was great. We learned a lot. We feel like we have a lot of new ideas on how to implement and include. We kind of had a similar problem of all of our projects were full like a week or more before our day of. And so trying to come up with more projects for people to be able to participate in. We really prayerfully need help with growing our leadership team. It's just myself and one other gal, and we both work full time. So it's challenging to do all of it, just the two of us. But that's kind of lots of great participation. My one feedback is I also was surprised by how many businesses like Walmart, Target, TID, that had groups that they brought. And so reaching out to some of those organizations in my city to invite them to participate going forward.
Awesome. Very good, Lindsay. Yay. All right, Mandy, Waterford, 30
so before we even got going, like one of our big wins, and I'm like patting myself on the shoulder, we set up the night before. And so, 8 a.m. comes real early on a Saturday morning. So our park that we have our rally at has a community center. So we did all of our setup that night. And that just was so wonderful to just carry tables out in the morning when we were done. But that rolled right into our prayer time. And so I actually stole Corey's idea on this one too. And Corey, you've been, I feel like, just such an inspiration for me, what you got going on there in Colorado. So then we had a just open prayer meeting. So we had people from different churches and just our volunteers and leaders and all different people came out. And we were just real deliberate about, laying everything down at that point and saying, okay, the rest from here on is God at work. And we also did a Bible study as a leadership team this last month that we did together, just on our cell phones, so we didn't have to necessarily meet in person all the time. And so I feel like that was something we were really deliberate about adding in this year. Is just making more space for God to work, and really making sure that, while we show up and do good things, that we're, making room to be real relational with each other and with people there, and introducing, making those pathways and making space for God to show up and move as well. So that was wonderful. That really helped us reset our minds going into Saturday. And Saturday went well. We had a great check-in process, very similar to Oakdale. So I think we checked in like almost 80 people that morning that were on our registration list. So that went fairly well. A few little tweaks on that in the future, and same type of thing as Oakdale. Again, they got a goodie bag after they checked in. So that was a little bit of a incentive for them to do so. And we had some great projects. We had a project at every school site in our city. We had every principal and every member of our cabinet for our schools was there the day of volunteering. And then we had a celebration afterwards. This is our first year really, really highlighting the celebration portion. And so in their goodie bags, they got some discounts for different businesses and some cool stuff like that. But they also got a voucher for our food trucks that we brought out for our celebration. And so we actually did all of our kids' projects during the celebration portion. So parents were able to come and get lunch and have family chill out for a little bit and eat lunch and listen to some live music. And then kids were able to stay engaged and go around and do different projects and play. And just, it was a great time to meet together and celebrate. And it was also a really wonderful opportunity to hear the wins from the day and the stories. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Mandy, so much. All right, we've got some more here. Janice, I see you're on from Yorba Linda. Are you able to share with us a little bit about Yorba Linda for about 30 seconds?
Oh, yes. We had an amazing time. We had about over 1,200 volunteers come out. The morning rally was just so uplifting. We had Pastor Santosh from Saddleback Brea come and gave us a great message. We had 40 sponsors and volunteers, I say sponsors and donors to contribute to this event. We had over 70 project leaders. So that was a feat all in itself. I probably wouldn't do that much next year, but it was a good try this year to just try different things. And we had over 50 projects, service projects, as well as beautification projects throughout our city. And we also included Love Placentia. So Love Placentia was not able to do it again this year. And I said, we share the same school district, we share the same community. Let's make this a community-wide event. So it was a blast. They felt included. They had a great time. Yesterday I went to the city council meeting and it was just, everyone just loved it. And they wanted to do it twice a year. And in my mind, I'm like, no. But it was very uplifting, especially coming off from the pandemic. With all the isolation and everything, it was just the happiest place to be was on Saturday and Love Yorba Linda. So thank you so much for this organization. It wouldn't have been impossible without Love Our Cities or OC United. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Janice. Nathan, share with about Anaheim.
All right, so we have multiple events a year, as most of you know, and so we had our third volunteer serve day on April 9th. It was at a local park and it had 1,100 attendees, 160 volunteers, and 18 partnering organizations. Big Easter egg hunt with that kind of energy, but 7 churches participated. And that's a challenge sometimes to have everybody same page it with multiple churches. So a very successful event, 6 city departments. We have 12 city departments, so 6 of them participated and worked out the park details and all that stuff. So really good day.
Awesome. Thank you, Nate. So there are other cities that can be here. I know Patterson happened, Ripon had a big day, Keys. I think there might be some other cities that I don't think they're on the call. Anyone else I miss on the call here? Brandon from Fullerton. Oh yes, Brandon, please share about Fullerton 2 weeks ago.
Hey everybody, good morning. I'm here speaking on behalf of Jay Williams.
Yeah.
He's taken some much needed and deserved vacation time, but I think he's coming back tomorrow. So I'll be reading his report. Love Fullerton was our 9th annual City Volunteer Day. We did 73 gallons of paint, 76 yards of mulch, 5 large dump trucks full spread to 14 drop-off locations, 270 bags of soil amendment, 1,300. Okay, I'm not gonna read all this stuff.
Yeah, just do a highlight.
1,900 volunteers.
One or two
I'll
highlights.
give you the spark
Okay,
notes.
good.
1,900 volunteers. We had 84 projects, 38 sponsors across the city. We beautified 13 city parks, and I think one of the biggest things for this year is we were in every school in the Fullerton School District, doing things on each campus. So that was really beautiful, and we're thankful for the partnership with the Fullerton School District and the relationship that's being built there, and looking forward to seeing it continue to grow. Another cool thing was just how fun it was to be back all together at the kickoff event. We had our kickoff and our after party luncheon all at Fullerton College. For those of you who don't know, Fullerton's kind of a college town. We got the Cal State in the city, and we got our community college in the city. And so to have those as kind of central points was made it a lot easier for our volunteers. We used to meet in downtown, go to projects, and then go to lunch at Fullerton College. But now we're doing it all at Fullerton College. And it's giving an opportunity for the community college to have a voice and to speak up and share the beautiful things happening there, and to partner with them year round.
Very, very cool. All right. Thank you, Brandon. Hey, Brian, share about Modesto real quick.
Well, I'll give the numbers quick because I know we like the numbers. So 75 projects, 2,250 volunteers. Like everybody, we brought our rally back. Our numbers are right about where we expected coming out of COVID. So that was really exciting. But as you know, we're part of Love Stanislaus County. So we work with all the different cities in there. So we had 8 cities participate, and what was really cool is every city's mayor proclaimed that day that would be from now on the Love Waterford Day, Love Oakdale Day. We got to do that all at one time. Amongst the all the cities put together, we did 169 projects, 3,969 volunteers, all within one county. We have some people, we've heard from the project leaders. Kevin, they killed it out in Empire with that flower box. Man, that was just amazing. Lisa and Mandy continue to kind of be our veterans and always do good. And actually, I'm stealing their check-in idea next year. And then Brandy coming out of a new place, Brandy, and then Empire, Keys, Patterson, all new this year, and you wouldn't have known it going there. So they just really crush it in a countywide effort. So that's just really powerful for what we do. And then I would just remind, you heard Lisa say it, share the load as a project leader. And I'm trying to remind cities of why we do it. So don't get so obsessed about the projects, and don't be obsessed about the numbers. We're not doing this for numbers.
Very, very good. That was such a great, the idea of, I think it totally work in every one of our cities is, since we're always the last Saturday in April every year, that's where our mayor declared, hey, this, and all the mayors of our cities in our county, this will always be Love Whatever Day for now going forward. And if just think about that for your city and your community, some idea like that could just be just a huge home run, for you in that way. Okay. And I missed Daly City in Manteca. I know, shout out to them. They also, I heard back from them. They've had just an amazing last Saturday as well. Hey, can you all do this? Post your pictures, your videos, your big post video, your best pictures, ideas that maybe you shared about here, put that on our City Leaders Forum. We don't have time, obviously, to watch all the videos and see all the pictures and all, but I think that's the best place to do that. So that our City Leaders Forum, if you could, each city could just post on there, and then we could all see it, what you did and how you did it. Next month, we're going to have Glenn Barth with us. I don't know if you guys heard of Glenn Barth before with Good Cities, but he's like an Eric Swanson. These guys have been around a while. They've seen this for a long time. They've got a lot of wisdom and experience to impart to us. So I want to, we're going to, really spend some time listening to him. I also want to, we didn't get to it, but I want to have Danielle and others, Raina and others that came to Modesto this last week, just like Kim went to Colorado Springs, which I think is awesome. And Kim's going to come to Modesto next year. right, Kim? The idea of visiting other cities is just incredible. Like Kim, you just said it, like you learn so much more when being there than you do by just listening to something or talking to somebody over the phone. And so, but next month I want to have those that came to Modesto share a little bit about their experience as well. I think that's all the time we have for right now. It's 8:45. Hey, y'all, thank you so much. This was really cool. And then next month, we're going to hear from some more cities next month as well that participated too. So blessings to y'all. Have a great day today.